Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is Hollywood Animal and this is Stubborn Mule Studios. We are just getting started. It is just July of our first year and we are getting to the point where we should have a couple of new scripts coming up, and we are in the process of working this movie that has a working name right now called Token Money. But I did decide I was going to change the names of movies as I could. Okay, and this is an interesting little screen. This shows the filming progress. If the now marker is lagging behind according to plan, mark it, you're behind schedule. You can film for more days than planned, but only at additional expense. Yes, that's true. At least I think it's true, although I haven't actually seen where that has played out the way they say it will. So what we see right now is it's a couple of days behind and we're planning on spending this much. Let's see how much we actually land on once this one's done. But what I was really going to do is talk about how you can actually come in here and change the name of a project. And there it is. You literally just go in there and you click on the name just like that. And I want to give it a clever name for the type of movie it is. And of course, I'm not thinking of what the movie was supposed to be about right now. Let's look at the information. It's a comedy and an action. Okay, so let's come back out here and click there. And we're going to, whoa. Oh, this is so our secret got the risk got lowered a little bit, I guess is the way to look at that. So we'll continue there. And we're going to try to do this one more time. We're going to call this, let's call it the Screwball Affair. There's our movie, and it'll get done. And you'll notice the name changed to TSA. That wasn't intentional, folks. But there we have it. And we're going to pick up the pace a little bit where we can. All right, Escape from Springfield, another working title. This will be one of the scripts that was an idea that somebody worked on. It looks like Jim Lutz worked on this one. What do we have here? It's an adventure with action adventure that is based historically, Wild West, daring adventure, serial killer. Is this one? We didn't come up with this one. I wouldn't have named it that. But this actually looks pretty good. Daring adventure, damsel in distress, sweethearts stay together. Isn't quite perfect, but it's okay. It gets us there. I think we hang on to this one. We're not going to run it just yet, but we will hold on to it. I was trying to speed up time here to 2 times and let that get moving along. Now, James has nothing to do right now, so let's see if we can give him another idea to work, or if maybe there's a script we want to write for him. A detective cowboy in a modern American city. Well, we could maybe make that work. Probably not, but it's easy work for now. Let's go ahead and give it to him. As I said before, if you haven't played the game, you will have more scripts than you know what to deal with. It'll be overwhelming at some point. We'll literally be just deciding, you know what, that's never getting made. Delete, delete, delete. You don't have to, I don't think. There doesn't seem to be a limit. Haven't run into one yet. But there we go. The game changes gears a couple of times early on. We're still kind of in first or second, if you ask me. We skipped the intro. Maybe that would have been first. So we're in second gear. We're about to switch into third gear. I would say there's 2 more levels where things really get intense that I have seen so far. And all of a sudden you have more to do than you know what to do. And that is where I'm looking to get quickly with this. The freelance writer's office has been researched and is ready to go. We have a few other options here right now. One is a script doctor, one is rolling edits, and one is develop new story elements. We could also work on sequels. Sequels is a neat thing, and it's a good one to add. It allows you to make movies that have carryover from the previous movie, and it's a fun little side part of how they've put all this together. With all the detail of what you put in now, this kind of steps it up a level. I'm going to save that one for a while. I'm not quite ready for that. I really want to start getting story ideas going. So I think the order I'm going to do things is develop new story elements, at least make that something we can do. Then we'll do rolling out edits, maybe script doctor, or maybe more story elements. I might do that first and then script doctor. The script doctor is a chance to improve a script that's already out there. And I don't think we're going to spend money on this. We maybe can spend a few of these points though. We'll spend 40 points there, save 2 days. I don't know if that's worth it, but There we go. The script doctor will take a script, you pay him, and in 20 days, I think, it comes back and it either improves the script or it failed. And that's about all it does. You don't have any control over what it's trying to do when it does it. So that's kind of a downside, but it can improve things for you. Oh, we need to build that freelance writer's office. So the one bad thing about how all this is laid out for me is my microphone blocks this part of my screen in one of my eyes. And so I don't necessarily see that one up there that is probably blatantly obvious to everybody watching. Okay, get that built. And once that's in there, we'll talk about what it can do for us. Can we zoom in? There we go, 43 days. Uh-oh, we have a problem with the work on the Screwball Affair. Sometimes accidents happen during the production of a film. You can intervene and try to solve the problem, or you can just ignore it. Well, we're not going to ignore it. We want to at least see what it is. And a script came in, Death Delivery Service. I do like that title. Okay, what do we have? Roger Lee, he wrote it. A thriller adventure action in a tropical island setting, a working man serial killer with a sidekick for the working man prison break. Protagonist rescues hostage. I can see how that could fit together. We'll save that one too. But let's give it a minute before we reassign Roger there. Oh, and Millionaire for a Day is in. This is our first story that we force wrote. This should be a Rick Bruno screenplay. Those aren't horrible numbers. Let's see what Rick came up with. Well, we know what he came up with. We put it together. And you'll notice that it kept all of those elements exactly how we had them. And that's why you use the story writing workshop, because it does that for you. You have complete control over the elements. And this is showing us what are successful matches. So comedy with Modern American Town is a good thing. Femme fatale with protagonist overcomes self-doubt is a good thing. Action bank robbery, good thing. Comedy clumsy oaf, good thing. So like comedy witch, not going to give you a check mark there. Now there's probably other combinations. Here's what I've learned is if you go and remake exactly this movie after you have all of the analytics in, you'll see this list can be very long. It's not just a handful of things. You can have like 10 or 15 matches of this is why the movie is better than it would have been. So that's what we're aiming for, though. We want to have as many of these as possible. We really don't see them normally until you get to that point where you can check them afterwards. But if you start tracking them, you can pay attention. Honestly, most of it makes sense if you look at them. It makes sense that an action movie that includes a bank robbery, that probably is a plus. All right, we're going to continue. We're going to shelve this one too, but I think that'll be the next movie we make. And then we do need to see what's going on here. Oh, it is the cat. Barb Fisher brought her cat to the set. And it ran away, and now she's crying nonstop. So what do we do? These basically have a few different options. Some of them you can't use. Like, I don't have the ability to give her heroin right now. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. So that's not one of the things I have available to me, so it's not even an option. But there's usually up to 4 of these from what I can tell. And generally you'll have something that is a loss, decrease. You'll have one that is maybe neutral. You'll have some that are like this. Filming will stop for 10 days, but her loyalty will increase. Well, that's never a bad thing. And we're not in a huge hurry just yet. 10 days is not awesome, but we can probably get through 10 days. And it's better than the alternatives. I can't even do this one because I don't have flexible schedule. And I certainly don't want her happiness and loyalty and the quality of the film to all go down. What's the point of that? That's 3 negatives versus a negative and a positive. So we're going to go over here. I think that's an easy find there on if you're trying to figure out how you want to advance there. Okay, so we have Rick has just written that script for us, and it is something we can probably start to get working on. We only have one soundstage right now, and it's probably in use. So how much longer? It is not in use. I think it would have if it was in production, it would have a production camera above it. So we probably can go ahead and maybe take a look and see if we can start working on Rick's Movie Millionaire for a Day. Now, this is one I did name. This one is not. This one is not. We'll want to change those names if we ever get to them, but we'll do that then. I'm not going to change every script name and then, not ever use them. So we will try to keep it unique with the stuff that we're working. Okay, well, our really good cinematographer is tied up for another 33 days. So that is one reason maybe we would wait. Let's see if there's anybody worth picking up. There is. There's a couple. This one is way cheaper than that one, but he is chaste, avoids conversations and activities that he considers indecent or immoral. Okay. But he's much cheaper, like 30,000, well, 25,000 cheaper for a year, or for a movie, he's 14,000 cheaper. Let's go with Homer for one movie. We'll pay him 38,000 for this one. We can give him some benefits. We have those benefits now, and I think we did talk about this, but if we didn't, yeah, I think we did. But long story short, the 387 factors, it's pretty much hundreds of dollars is what this works out to. If we hit this, it'll be 38.7K, right? Well, if we give him insurance, for instance, that'll knock off 40K. So this should drop, or 4K, 4,000. So this should drop to 34.7. And there it is. So we saved that money. Now we do pay monthly for his medical insurance, but it's less than what we saved for what we did. That's why you want to use services and benefits for folks. All right. Well, we hired a new cinematographer. And then the goal is, after this film is done, we will see if we can sign him on with a, hey, we were successful together kind of idea. Now, he's really good at on location, but he's also got a couple of marks here in soundstage. I want to know more about how these work. I have not found it yet. So I'm going to continue to dig. I'm not going to pretend I did a full research analysis on it, but I didn't find anything that was just kind of sitting out there easy to decipher on what that's supposed to do for us. So I usually start like this. Generally, you want to do these on location when they have the colored background here. These are they're the scenes that are most frequent is what it comes down to. And you tend to have better results when you do those on location. In general, you have better results when you do on location. But we also want to save time sometimes. Now, this one, part of the reason I like to do these modern American towns is they very seldom go over 60 days, or very, very close to this anyway. So we don't have a lot of filming time on this. And if we want it, we could even shorten it a little more. What we already did. We could shorten the bank. Why do we have to actually film in an actual bank? Why isn't a soundstage bank good enough? Save 4 more days if we do that. With that said, I'm okay with the amount of time this is going to take. So we're going to take it, continue. Filming technology, no options. Sound technology, no options. Extras. It is an action comedy of a clumsy oaf with a bank robbery. I'd say maybe more than 10 extras will be good. And then I always select plenty of crew. It is like $2,000 right now. It does fluctuate some, but if you think about it, I'm not sure I've ever seen it be, let's say, more than $20,000. If the quality of your film improves by 0.2, you've covered that more than likely, unless you've done something really, really horribly wrong. So I haven't seen where I did do some tests where I played with these values to see how much they impact things. It's very difficult to tell. The overall system isn't really fully deterministic or procedural, I guess, where everything is always going to come out exactly the same way. But in general, I think it's really healthy to include extra crew where you can. All right, off my soapbox. And we have this guy who has one movie left to work with us. Let's do it. We're going to go ahead and use him. We skipped him for the other one. And I think we have a director with the same story. Yeah, let's see if we can make this movie really, really, really top notch. Okay, here we have a couple of options. Maybe you're going to hold off on Louis Blair just a little longer, even though that would be, a superstar being in this movie would be great. Let's wait just a little longer for him. Let's use Henry. And then for the femme fatale, well, she's on our books and she's age appropriate and young. So maybe that's the way we want to go. Nothing wrong with Eileen Rice here. She doesn't have the pull power here. She's not a promising talent, and her skill isn't as good, but it is good enough for where this movie sits right now. It should be okay too. She is a little older. We do have Marie Freeman down here, and we could grab her and get her some experience. She's a little below this, but it's not way out of her punching level. So let's go ahead and use her. Let's go ahead and use her. And then for the sidekick, oh, this could be fun. Let's go with, should we go with Clark? 67-year-old Clark is the Clumsy Oaf's sidekick in a bank robbery, overcoming his self-doubt. It'd be better if he was like a mentor, honestly. And I bet we probably would see there'd be a couple of points for that. So we're going to go with David Gutman, who does bring things down just a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. I think this is going to work out for us. We're going to spend $211,000 for production, and that includes the pre-production. There we go. Let's move on. This is stalled out for 10 days, as you recall, as we look for her cat. Yeah, I wish that security could take care of that for her. Okay, Carl Conti, the head of the script department. This is a scripted event, and the idea is this guy named Wandering Malcolm has been kind of pestering the different houses for a while now with this script that he wrote called Rotten Fates that he wants to see made into a movie, and he's willing to sell it to us for $1,000. Now, we do need to talk about the freelance writers building a little bit once it's built, but what we will learn is that $1,000 is nothing. It's a good deal. Even if it's a movie we never make, spending the money on the risk is fantastic. So we're going to do that. Oh, and it turns out it's a really good movie, really good script anyway. It's an 8.5. Wandering Malcolm, although it's actually by Jay Perry. That's interesting to me. I'm not sure why they call him Wandering Malcolm. It might have been in that story there, and I don't remember it anymore. I didn't see anything about Jay Perry, though. But it's got good elements. It's got star-crossed lovers. It's got a love triangle. It has a rival and a love interest. So hopeless romantic, love interest, rival equals love triangle. Always, always a hit. We're going to go ahead. We're not going to start the project just yet. We're going to sit on it and get things lined up with our best cinematographer and things like that before we make that move. All right, we're going to go to 3 times speed, try to get through this here. And unfortunately, this is one of the bad things about David Gutman. He fell out of his 3rd floor apartment window and straight onto the sidewalk. Fortunately, he just had bruises, but it sounds like he was clearly drunk. He crawled around to the amusement of the passersby. He was crying and calling for his mother, and as luck would have it, a Tribune reporter was passing by. Everybody was talking about his wild behavior. Yeah, he has a problem with alcohol, so it would lend to it that maybe it was a factor. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, moving along. I kind of wish there was a little sidebar that showed like when the researches were all going to hit. So you could kind of see it all in one shot. That would be pretty cool. All right. Well, we spent this much so far, and you'll notice that it improved. The things we added in pre-production for Millionaire for a Day have improved it. 0.8 in its artistic grab, but 1.3 in commercial. That's great. And then we get to see what is causing those ups. And it is the actors, even though we used a few that were below level, the producer, the director, the cinematographer, all net pluses for it. Locations, we have no control over. Costumes, no control. Extras. Well, we gave them all the extras we could. So we did what our part for all of this. I guess the one thing we could have done is shot everything on location. We did do 3 of them on soundstage, but let's not sweat that too much. We really did everything we could for the most part. We're going to start production. We bounce to this screen. We're going to assign, our only option right now is to assign security to it. Let's go ahead and give Raphael some work. And there we go. Those are kicking along. New script. White marks, not a strong script. It's okay to have those. It's okay to have those. Some of your movies aren't going to be great. You just have to keep expenses low on those. This is one where you don't go with extra staff, right? And maybe we'll take a look at that here. So this is Bob Rodriguez, our new writer that we brought in. He's not one of the original three. Drama, action, comedy, historical detective on a tropical island, daring adventurer. So far, so good. I mean, for the most part, daring adventurer. Well, it's not an adventure movie, so that's not a huge punch, but it's a little off, but that's all right. There's a murderer. Well, it is an action movie. It's comedy. That's kind of weird. It's a drama. It's historical. It's detective. Lots of things going on with this movie. And then we have a strict parent. Well, the good news is we have Clark Reese, right? Who's 67. He can play just about anybody's dad. So he could be the strict parent. We're going to assume this is a male. This is probably, it's a female murderer. That's interesting. Okay. Overall, not a great script. Obviously, the numbers don't lie, but based on my rule of is it cohesive? It would not be a good script, but it's not ridiculous. It doesn't have completely anachronistic relationships in it. So we're going to go ahead and shelve it. Services upgrade completed. Okay, this is good. So we now have the ability to acquire Silver Moon Chronos watches and give them as gifts. And let's see what that looks like. So first we're going to research something else. This is kind of a push for me. The extended medical coverage is the next level of medical coverage. So we currently have medical coverage, which is worth 40 points. This is worth 85 points and costs twice as much, but it gets you a little more than twice as much bonus. So it's a really good one to go after, but it takes over a year. These probably about the same. Okay, 300 and 300. These give really good bonuses for people's happiness. And you can also use them during negotiation. And they don't cost you anything afterwards, but you do pay for them up front. We're going to go ahead and let's go with the cigars. I think that's probably the more logical way to go. Prohibition is in effect right now, and while we'd be okay, we can stand up for ourselves about why we have this. It would probably be better to go with the cigars, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's underway. Really wish I had a guy who had money as his option for this one, but we have another step here we need to do. So I'm going to pause it so I don't get locked out, and we want to come up to services, and now we can go to gifts, and what we will see is we have the ability to buy these. So we're going to say, yes, we want some, and we're not going to be shy here. We're going to order 30 of these. And what happens is every 5 days, he will acquire one of these. Each one costs $1,000, and so he will acquire it, and it will be in our stock, and the next time we go to negotiate with somebody, we can use it. We can also use it as a gift to somebody who's having problems with their happiness, and we'll probably do some of that as well. Okay, moving on. Let's give it 5 days. We'll see a little pop-up come up here that says that he did his job. Script department, the freelance writer's office is done. Okay, let's cover this real quick, and then I think maybe we will end this episode and start a new one right at this spot. But first, we can come in here now. You'll notice we now have this shopping cart. We can go and buy scripts. These are scripts that are available to us right now. Pretty awesome. Some are better than others. Another one by Jay Perry. Let's see how the first one goes first. But I mean, this is hitting pretty hard. Now it's got a price tag. These prices can go way, 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 way up. The bottom end of the track that I've seen is generally about 10,000. I'm not sure I've seen any that go way below that. But that's give you a rule of thumb is that think of that as the floor, about 12,000, 10,000 thereabouts. But you can go up into the 130,000 and above to buy some of these scripts. You do get a good idea of what the script is about. You get a genre, you get 3 pieces of what it's about. You do not have the ability to see anything more about it. Oh, you do. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I didn't detect that for quite a while, and I was thinking there was something there. There's no click indicator is there? I guess it's the exclamation point. I think maybe I did figure that out eventually. Nonetheless, 50% detective, 50% thriller in a modern American city. Detective, serial killer, sidekick, femme fatale, bank robbery, antagonist gets killed. That's a pretty solid script. That's a pretty solid script. You look at this one. Okay, fantasy kingdom with a knight and an evil monster. That's working. Damsel in distress, even better. Mentor, protagonist rescues the damsel in distress hostage from the evil monster. That can work too. All right, so we can see how that works, and there you have it. One other thing to note with the workshop. Let's come in here. We're going to create a new movie, and we're not actually going to finish it, but here's what I want to show you. We can come in here, modern American city. We have to have a protagonist, daring adventurer, and then we can go and select a screenwriter, and we can go to freelancers and we can hire somebody to write it for us, and they will charge us a fee. That's the other thing the freelance writer's office gives you. So you could try some of these guys out is what that kind of means. You could, give Peter Marsh a try, see if he actually can level above 1. You'll kind of know quickly, but you kind of pay for what you're getting, and that's something to note as well. With that said, they can vary wildly in their costs. So something else to note. I very rarely use one of these. In fact, I don't remember the last time I did, although I have done it. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of this. I don't have really any interest in creating a movie called Blah. And if we come look here, yeah, it got rid of it for us. So that's good. Here's the scripts that we can work. And if we want to start one of them, we click here. We also have the ability for these guys to work on these. Let's go with this. We're going to have Roger. Oh, it's detective though. We'll give it to this guy. Bob Rodriguez is going to start working on that. We have a thriller. We have a drama. Neither is great. Let's go ahead and give it to Roger, something for him to work on. And we will have Rick write another story for us soon. But we're going to hold off until the next episode for that. I do appreciate your time. This is Hollywood Animal. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe and let me know what you would like to see. I do have 5 tips for getting started in the game out there. Please take a look at that video if you haven't. Hope it finds something that will help you in that. Otherwise, thanks for your time. And until next time, fair travels.